All right.
But we were talking about the resentment that we feel because we have allowed ourselves to be in a certain place where we're doing too much, we're carrying everything, and we're tired.
Yeah, as hell.
Hmm. Hmm. That is. That is.
Tired
You
as
said
hell.
it, but that is hell. That's
Yeah,
hell.
it is.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
is. Yeah. Yeah. And like I was saying, this is not 1950. We both out
Hmm.
here getting a paycheck. We
Hmm.
both out here grinding, working these 9 to 5s, so we
Right.
both need to come together and keep the household together, keep the kids
Yes.
together, and not just from the standpoint of the, uh, whatever that domesticated work, but also
Right.
that emotional load,
Right.
because, and feel free if y'all watching and I'm misquoting or misstating, but I feel like women are the ones who bring the emotion, who start conversations, even if they're
Hmm.
hard conversations. We try to have those conversations just to be, pushed to the side, or, you know,
Hmm.
that emotional, what is the word I'm looking for?
The emotional piece, the emotional I don't want to say baggage.
See, that's what I was gonna say, but it's not really
Right, right,
baggage. It's
right,
just it's that emotional weight, I guess. Just
right.
carrying, and you know. Okay, I'll give an example. You and your partner or your spouse, um, it's a hard conversation that needs to be had, and it's that silence. You remember we talked
Uh-huh.
about the silence.
Right.
Um, but you say, okay, I'm gonna break this silence and have the conversation. But then it's that response that you get from your partner or your spouse that's like, why did I even open my mouth? Why
Hmm.
did I even say anything?
Right.
Um, and then you get to the point where that builds resentment, because it's like, I can't open up to you. I can't really explain to you what I'm feeling, or have hard conversations.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and you said it leads to resentment. Um, I think part of it leading to resentment is because there's no communication.
Yes.
Because usually you begin to you're upset, so you stop talking, and all the communication is shut down, and you're not allowing or telling your partner what's going on or how you're feeling.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so having that type of resentment over time, what it does, and I've used this analogy before, is like that soda pop, where you're shaking it, it's building up, and then eventually it just pops because it's
Yeah.
under pressure.
Yes. Yeah. So I have a question for, the viewers, and then for us as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Do you think women are taught to suppress anger until it turns into emotional exhaustion?
You guys heard that out there in TikTok land? Do you think we have been taught, trained, conditioned, programmed to, yeah, to, you said,
To suppress anger
to suppress anger
until
until
it
it
turns into emotional exhaustion.
yes, I do.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah, I believe we have been trained and we have been taught that that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to keep silent for certain things.
Keep the peace.
Keep the peace.
Keep the peace.
Like I guess the algorithm hasn't brought it my way, but I have yet to see any of those be his peace type thing. Be
I
his
have.
peace.
Hey, Keith.
See if Keith want to chime in from a guy's perspective.
Keith, you want to hop in and give us your perspective from a man's point of view about the peace, a man's peace?
Do you think that's your wife's responsibility to be your peace? That's the question I want to know to the guys out there. You think that's your wife? Yes, we're good now. You can see it now, Jennifer?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, do you think it's your wife or your significant other? You think it's their responsibility to be your peace? See, I haven't seen any of those TikTok things where
Yeah,
they're
I
talking
have.
about you have,
I have.
and
Yeah, and
so
my
it
and my take on that is we both want peace.
right,
And it's not
right.
just one sided. We both
Mm-hmm.
want peace. So we need to be each other's safe space
Mm-hmm.
so we can both have that peace. That's what I think. And I even think when it comes to happiness, you know, um some in some relationships or spouse or partner may say, you're supposed to make me happy, or I depend on you to make me happy. No, no.
Mm-mm.
You have to
Mm-mm.
make yourself happy, and your partner can add to that happiness. But that
Mm-hmm.
happiness comes from within.
Within.
It comes from
Within.
within. Yeah.
Don't make
My job first, don't make confusion for another.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is very, very, very key. What you said, Keith. Don't make
That
confusion for
confusion.
another. Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, do you believe that it is a healthy anger? Is it a healthy anger? You don't think no anger is healthy?
No.
Mm. Mm.
No. And maybe that's because I'm not fully healed and I have an
Okay.
anger streak. Like I said, I'm always transparent. So,
Right. Right.
I'm still
Right.
working on myself. So anger is anger.
Okay.
That's all I know at this
Okay.
point.
Okay. Well, I think there is a healthy anger.
Okay.
Um, and the healthy anger is the anger that you don't suppress, the anger that you
Okay. I can
actually
see that.
release.
Okay.
Because when you're angry and you're suppressing the anger, like, oh no, I'm okay.
Uh
Yeah, right.
yeah.
But if you have put yourself in a place where you figure you need to be someone's peace, chances are you have a lot of unhealthy anger that's brewing inside.
Right.
And the unhealthy anger, what it often leads to, not only resentment, it leads to depression. It can lead, because any resentment untamed or undealt with, what it's going to lead to is hate.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yes. So
Yeah.
yes, there's healthy anger and unhealthy anger, and the unhealthy anger is the anger that we suppress and we
Hold on
keep and we
to.
we hold on to,
Yeah.
and it builds and it builds, and you find yourself giving that person a side eye, but not in the pleasant way. It's in the, he better take his ass on type of way, or you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. You better
and
get the
and
hell out of
you
my face.
you get the hell out of my face.
Yeah.
Or you do what I've seen some couples do, where they begin to do the name calling and the put downs.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that before.
Yes,
Yeah, and
yes.
that is not healthy. That is not
Not
healthy at all.
healthy at all.
No, because no
And
matter how angry you are, like to put another person down, especially if
right.
you love that person and you're in a relationship with that person, that's like, come on. Sometimes you can't come back from that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep. And
yeah,
I've seen that at work with some couples where
yeah.
they're in a group of people, and, she pipes up and says certain things, or instead of taking him to the side or decide to talk
Right.
about it, yeah, when
Yes.
they're at home alone, they put it all out there in the public. And what I recognize that to be is resentment that is building.
Yes.
Resentment, and it's
Yeah.
not dealt with.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why that communication is so
Hmm.
important. And one thing I learned, my husband a couple years back, we had went to marriage counseling, and one of the
Hmm.
things that the counselor shared with me, because you know I get to the point where when I'm expressing, sometimes I just get loud,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know. And he said, when you feel like you're getting to that point, pause
Yep.
and say, let's table this discussion right now. Give me some time to calm, and then we can come back to the discussion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. And that's how you have to deal with it,
Yes.
especially if you have, like I keep saying, that pent up resentment.
Hmm.
And for some people who don't, how you said you get loud. Some people are. I'm very vocal. Like I will
Yes.
talk you to death.
Me too.
Until,
Me too.
I want to get it out. So I want to talk and talk and talk. But for some people, they don't do any of that. And what ends up happening is that they begin to get sick.
Mm.
Because it's anger turned inward. If you've ever heard it, it leads to depression, and very often all of that depression leads to
Anxiety.
yes, it's anxiety that happens. You find yourself constantly, like I've met with some couples where the wife is constantly sick. They always have a cold or something, or and
Hmm.
it's because their autoimmune system
Yes.
is lowered.
Yes. And I think we need to do a discussion about that,
Okay.
because a lot of people don't realize that they hold on to that resentment,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever they're holding on to. That is why there is a lot of autoimmune diseases. You go to the doctor and you say, oh, I feel this way, I feel this way,
Yep.
and they can't figure out what the problem is. You stressing the fuck out. That's what it is.
Yes. Yes.
You stressing
Yes.
yourself out. And
Yes.
that's why them symptoms are presenting themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's real.
Hmm.
It is real. With everything that's going on in our world, it is important that you create your own sense of peace. Not be a peace,
Yes.
be peace for someone else, not
Be a
do
piece
all
for
of that.
yourself.
Be peace for yourself. And because I'm one of those people who believe in the power of our thoughts, I believe it starts right here in our minds.
Yes, it does. It
Yep.
does. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that takes some practice to turn that off, speaking from
Yeah.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
But it works. It works. Yeah.
Keith says sounds like his wife. Yes. Listen to her, Keith.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Here's a question: if you're out there and you want, and you've joined us, or you want to pipe in, let us know. Jennifer will let you in. Um, the question is: have you ever felt rage that you couldn't explain, and then felt bad about feeling that rage?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you've seen, I've seen some people where they just so angry, and even as I've grown and learned to identify what's going on in my body, when I'm in that place where I feel that rage, I feel that anger, and I'm like, what is happening? Like you said, Jennifer, I pause, and then when I pause, I recognize that okay, this is happening. I'm not dealing with this. I haven't addressed this issue. So
Hmm.
those are the things that I notice when I'm feeling this anxiousness. We call it anxiety now, but in
Yes.
some cases, it is actually rage. We've just learned
Yeah.
to put a mask on it.
And sometimes I would get to the point where I would shake. I would be so upset and angry that I would shake. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, take some deep breaths, calm
Mm-hmm.
down. And that's why journaling is so important to me. You
Yes.
always hear me talk about journaling, because
Yep.
that when I'm able to write down my thoughts or write down my feelings, even if I'm not expressing it to that person, I'm getting it
Mm-hmm.
out.
Right. Right.
That's an outlet for me. If I can't say it to that person, at least I can get it
Mm-hmm.
out and I don't have to hold on to it. And that's a part of my releasing it. So I
Yes.
don't carry that resentment and that anger.
Okay.
Let's go to another question.
Okay.
So, do you think that some women become emotionally numb because they've held resentment too long?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I know some women become emotionally numb because they have, and no, seriously, because they've been in situations, they've been in relationships where they have been there a long time and they've operated a certain way where they don't process with their spouse.
Mhm.
And it's even more critical when they don't have a friend or a person
Yes.
to
Yes.
process with.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have that sisterhood or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
They don't have
Yes.
that to process with.
Mhm. Yeah, I thank God for my sisterhood because if
Hmm.
I don't know where I would be if I didn't have
Without it,
that.
right?
Yes. Yes. But I've been there being that emotionally numb, especially when you've repeatedly been in a situation
Hmm.
and patterns that don't change. And it's like, whatever.
And you just said it. You're in a situation and you're in a pattern that is the same, that stays the
Hmm.
same.
Hmm.
It
And
doesn't change.
you've expressed it, you've talked about it, you've let the other person know. And it's like,
Hmm.
okay, so the pattern continues. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
If you're out there in TikTok land and you're seeing us, here's a question. You can put it in the chat. The question is, I resent blank, but I can't say it because of blank. Fill in the blanks.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yes, I resent blank, but I can't say it because of blank.
I don't think I'm at a place right now where I have any
Mhm.
resentment, and I'm thankful for that.
Yes.
Um, I really am. I really
Hmm.
am. Like I say, I'm always transparent. So the first thing that comes to mind is my marriage.
Yeah.
And it's like I know the type of wife that I've been. Um, and it's like I don't have any anger, any resentment towards where we are today because I know I was a good wife. I'm a good person. I did what I was supposed to do. I
Hmm.
can't I can't be responsible for your actions and your patterns. That's
Right.
on you.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's deep, Jennifer. And
Mhm.
that's a good healed place to be in.
Yep.
I think when we first met, and I believe I asked this of all the guests, can you be healed completely?
Mm.
I think I asked you that. And
Yeah.
personally, I think that we can't, I think healing is an ongoing process.
It is an ongoing process. It really is. It is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I saw a
Yes.
clip Candy Burris, I don't know if you know her, but
Uh-uh.
she's
I do
she's
know her, but I haven't seen the clip.
yeah, she's going through a divorce or just went through a divorce and did an interview and they asked her, is she healed? And she was like, no, I'm not. Like, I just came out of a 14, 12-year marriage. I'm not
Hell
healed.
no. Hell no, I'm
Yeah.
not healed.
No, like, no. It doesn't happen overnight,
Right.
but
Right.
you can let go of that resentment,
Hmm.
but that healing is a process.
Hmm.
It's a process.
If you're
Hmm.
out there, one of the things Jennifer and I both realize is that you are allowed to love someone and be angry that they don't see you. You
Mm.
are.
Mm.
You can love someone and still be angry that they cannot see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is to keep that love strong and to keep it flowing is opening up those lines of communication to that
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, and we talked about this before in some episodes. I'm not trying to bash men,
Mm-hmm.
but I really feel like it's something going on. It's something in the water.
Uh-huh. What do you mean?
I just, just for what I see on social media, family and girlfriends that I have, and it seems like everybody in their relationship and their marriage is just going through something.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of what I'm hearing is the men don't want to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
They feel as though, okay, I'm this provider, right? I'm taking care of the house, I'm paying the bills, and
Mm-hmm.
but then you have this wife who's working and she's contributing and taking care of the house and everything. So realistically, you both are coming together and taking care of the
Mm-hmm.
household financially, being a provider. But it's that emotional part where they
Mm.
fall short on.
They're emotionally unavailable. They're
Yes,
stunted emotionally.
yes. And then where
Mm-hmm.
that communication comes in, where, you want to talk about it and it may be a hard conversation,
Mm-hmm.
they run away from it or they shut
Mm-hmm.
down. And then
Mm-hmm.
nothing gets resolved because you're running away from the hard conversation. So the issue still, we just let it sit. It's
Mm.
still sitting there. It's not resolved, you know?
Right. Well, my theory with that, my theory about why that is because it's the programming.
Yeah.
It's the programming, and we can only go from the American society because we are Americans and we live here. So, but the programming here in our society, and it's been in place for years, where we have been taught to place men in a provider status,
Mm,
and place men above the women. And it's like that old joke where you would say, oh, the doctor was such and such. And then the person finds out, because immediately when we hear doctor, we're programmed to think it's a man, you
mm,
know?
yeah.
The person would respond and say, oh, it's a woman. And
Mm,
people would be like, oh, okay, because we are programmed to believe that men are supposed to take the lead, that men are supposed to be the providers. And I think with that programming is also some programming that says men are not supposed to be soft.
mm,
You know,
yeah.
what's the conversation about? Oh, thank you, Keith. The conversation tonight, we're talking about women who carry everything.
Everything.
We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about women who carry everything and how that carrying everything often leads to resentment.
Mm-hmm.
And the resentment, prolonged resentment for your significant other, your spouse, your whatever, your husband, it often leads to anger. The anger leads to depression. The depression leads to body illness, and on and on and on. So that's what
Right.
we're talking about tonight, Keith.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, Keith, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I believe men are programmed to believe that their role is not to appear soft or to talk a lot about their emotions, but to do things like what we've been taught men are supposed to do: um, provide for the house, take care of things financially. And we know that this is still true because women who are doing the same jobs are often paid less.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're often paid less. So that's what we're talking about, Keith. If you want to pipe in, you want to join, come on camera or speak, just let us know. But yes, that's what we're talking about. So, Jennifer,
Mm-hmm.
As I had said before, you are allowed to love someone and be angry that they don't see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, if we can head into our part two, that when you stay in that place for too long, you stay in that resentment zone for too long, it often presents itself as this hyper independence.
Yes.
So that resentment that you we often carry, yes, it will lead to this, oh, I don't need him. I don't need. So you're hyper independent, but at the same time you've closed yourself off from everyone else.
Yeah. I've been there. I've been
Mhm.
there. And a
Mhm.
part of my issue too was with the hyper independent. I was a young mom, so
Yeah.
I was that independent, woman doing everything,
Mhm.
and didn't have the support of a male or partner to help me, until I got married. And even when I got married, it was hard to release that because I was so
Right.
used to doing everything by myself. And then
Mhm.
over the years, when things got, bad, and I'm noticing things and I'm like shutting down and having that resentment, it's like, oh, I'm done. I'm
Mhm.
good. I got this,
Mhm.
you know?
And that's exactly how it happens.
Yeah.
You decide you become super strong,
Yeah.
super strong, superwoman. But that is great. Don't get me wrong. I think for a season, that's good, but that cannot be your overall life where
Right.
your superwoman can't be touched. I don't need anyone. I have seen some little videos where you see the younger people talking about how, they don't need this. Some of them even
Hmm.
say they don't need their mama. They don't need that. They don't need they don't need no damn body. They all
Okay.
by themselves. And
Okay.
that's what we call hyper independence. If you're out there in TikTok land and you wonder, what are they talking about? We're talking about how your resentment, your unwillingness to share how you're doing or feeling or communicate with your partner can often lead to hyper independence, where you become so strong that you find yourself not needing anyone.
Yeah. So
So
I
you
have a
become,
question.
go ahead.
And y'all let me know in the chat if you want to answer. Did independence become your personality or your protection?
Ooh, that's a good one. Um, I think for me it was a mixture of both. And
Hmm.
like you said, how you were a single mom, I was a motherless child. So my independence, it had to be both. I had to protect myself by being very super and strong, and I can do it myself. But it also kind of shaped my personality, where yes, I am outspoken. I will speak up and say certain things. And for some men, and I think it's men of a certain type, they see it as me being very intimidating, or
Disrespectful or yeah, yeah,
right. Or I give off that big dick energy, I call
yeah,
it big P, big pussy energy. Yeah. So for some, so for
yeah,
some people, yes, I think I've lived long enough where I can say it's been both. It's
yeah,
been both. It has been part of my personality, and it's been a protection for me to
yeah.
be
I
this
can see
hyper
that.
independent. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I can say more on the protection side.
Okay.
Because like I said, I come from that single mom mentality. So it's like if things go on too long, I come back to that and say, well, shit, I took care of myself before.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I can do it again,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's like my protection.
So if you're passing through, you see us on this live and you're wondering what we're doing, We are talking about tonight women who carry everything and how this carrying of everything leads to not only resentment, but hyper independence because you're trying to
Hmm.
do it all. You're trying to do too much. So, do you have another question, Jennifer? Any another question?
I have not so much a question, but like this is my thought. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
how I would think. Like if I rely on myself, then I can't be let down.
Mm, wow. That
Hmm.
that that's true. And I guess that's why a lot of people who have that hyper independence, that's the stance that they come from.
Yeah.
It's if I can do it myself. If I do it, or that thinking that if I do it, I know it's gonna be done right.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another reason why women carry it all because that's their mentality.
Hmm.
They want it, they think if they do it, it's gonna be done right. Sometimes you just gotta let somebody else do it, and however
You
it ends
just
up, it just ends up
it
the way it is.
however it ends up, it ends up. Long time
Hello.
no see or hear. Now,
Yeah,
Keith,
I
we've
had to.
been talking about women who carry everything, and that carrying of everything often leads to resentment because we try to talk to you guys about it, and either you don't have time, and I'm not saying you specifically, Keith. I don't know you like that, so but for some, generally speaking, I think men don't communicate that well about what they're feeling and how they're doing. And so when the woman tries to come to them, it's pushed away. And so that leads to resentment. And that often leads to the woman becoming very hyper independent, figuring she can do it all, she can fix it all. And though she's smiling and nodding in your face, she's brewing some anger and
Hmm.
resentment. What do you think?
Um, well, as far as the man is concerned, I've been in that situation before,
Okay. Okay.
where you're providing and you lose income
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes it's a lot of times it's not your fault that you get let go from a job. Sometimes it's just a layoff. Sometimes
Hmm.
you might have messed up and did something you shouldn't have been doing or whatever. Either
Mm-hmm.
way, the case is the man is usually the one that's trying to make sure the house is fine, is safe.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
everything is taken care and paid for and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That
Do you
yeah,
think
that can
that's
lead to
the
a lot of
role of you think that's the role of the husband or the male partner? You think that is his role, or you think that is the role that society has assigned to him or to you?
I think it's more of a societal thing
Hmm.
because you do have more. You don't have total equality as far as the men and women is concerned these
Right.
days, but you do have more equality where women are able to make millions and billions just the same way a man can make millions and billions. So,
Right.
Hmm.
um, it's but for the most part, what 95%, 90% of people today aren't in the millions and billions. They're just into living off of the job they got, the career
Hmm.
they got, and building that 401k. And with the way things go, when you know jobs get shipped out or something like that, somebody loses their income.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
so it's the way I look at it. It should just be when people come together like that. Let's not put the relationship on the grounds of the income.
Right.
You take it off for the grounds of the income. Let's figure this thing out together because okay,
Right.
that's what we came together for.
Right.
We came
A
together,
partnership.
yeah, we came together to make a good relationship, to build a family, to be together. You know, when you build it off of financial things, if the finances ain't there no more, okay,
Mhm.
when it's time to downgrade, somebody somebody go scoot.
Right. Right.
Somebody's gonna go. You know, instead of saying,
Mhm.
okay, I'm in it for the long run. Okay, as
Mhm.
long as you got two people there that in agreement with that,
Mhm.
I mean that finances should never be a problem.
It should
Right.
never be.
Yeah,
There you go.
that should never be
Yeah.
a problem.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for
But,
sharing that, Keith.
Yeah.
hmm
Mm.
yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, the way, that's just the way I got to look at it. It's just
Okay.
don't it's got to come to an agreement not to have finances involved or anything like that.
Mhm.
You know, I can
Mhm.
understand the man. I can understand man being a protector
Right.
these days because well, sometimes I can understand that because I'm thinking about some men of the day. They're not no kind of protection. So
Right. Right. Right.
I'm sorry,
But
but anyway,
again, that's the society. That's what we have been programmed to believe, that the man is supposed to be the provider, protector,
Right.
yep,
the
Yeah.
head. And I think it's a programming. I know some people will say, oh no, that has been given to us by God. That has been mandated since the foundation of the world, that the man is supposed to be this and that. But I think we also living in a time where that thinking and that belief is being challenged. That,
Mm-hmm.
we're saying that if we're going to enter into a partnership, that it's a partnership. We're in this together. Like you said, it's not so much about money, but it's about that relationship that says, we protect one another. We are one another's
Right.
peace. It's not just
Exactly.
me giving of myself and making sure that you're in a state of perpetual peace, but it is us making sure one another that we are living in peace. And I think that is shifting in our society today.
Yeah, and I think that a
yep,
lot of men focus too much on the protection and the providing more than the emotional safety.
Mm, mm,
yeah.
Hmm.
yeah.
It,
Yeah.
Yep.
as for
Yep.
me, as far as the emotional side, I think it
Hmm.
is hard. I think it is hard for most men. It's hard for me to be on that emotional side of because most men we just don't get emotional like that.
Right.
We just don't express it in a way that
That's what I
that we can
think.
be
Hmm.
understanding. You know, I mean,
Hmm.
it's not that we're trying to, you know, I don't think most men are trying to not, not be emotional and hold it all in and all this kind of stuff. No, we really don't know how to let some of that out sometimes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
When it gets hard,
Yeah.
and a lot of I've seen a couple of times in my younger life where a man was torn up about a situation, and okay, while we're looking at this man, it like he's soft or something. No,
Mm.
Mm.
you're
Yeah.
feeling some, he's feeling some kind of way. Yeah, let's sit. It's like brothers get together. Let's go sit down and have a drink. Let's go sit down and have a
Right.
beer. You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm. Hmm.
and sometimes it takes that. Hey brother, go. Hey, let's go to the park and sit by the water and have chop it up a little bit. See what's
Hmm.
really going on.
Hmm.
And my brothers we need to be there for each other instead of thinking
Yes.
we always have to be strong and not not weak. It's not a matter of being strong or not weak, because at times you're gonna be weak. You're gonna be, not able to, lift your head up. You know, sometimes you just need somebody to listen to you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you know, yeah,
Thank you for sharing that, Keith.
Yeah. Thank you.
Guys,
That.
if
Thank
you
you for that.
passing by and you heard that, what Keith just shared, he just shared some real, he just dropped a real diamond. Because it's not always about being strong.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's why I like it when you have these guys who are committed to like having a man circle or something. We call them
Yes,
sister
I think
circles
that's
for us.
needed.
Right,
It's so
right.
needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where they're there sharing, this is how I'm doing, and this is, what's going on with me. And because maybe they need that space and place where they can share it among other men who get what they're talking about.
Right.
I think that is very key. Thank you for sharing that, Keith.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I just got a little inkling in my spirit. We don't have the older men around like we used to have back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm,
You know,
mm-hmm,
the older man that's been, been with his wife for 30 years, been working on his
mm-hmm,
job for 30 years or whatever the case may be, and got a lot of experience, got a lot of knowledge. We don't have too many of those like that no
mm-hmm,
more. I mean,
Yeah.
um, I'm getting up in age. I guess I'm pretty much getting to that situation myself, but
mm-hmm.
uh, maybe it's that lack, or maybe it's the lack of these young men finding these old men that, hey, we used to meet out at the bar Tuesday night or Thursday night
Right.
or whatever the case may be. We used to go and shoot pool together. We used to go and do this, you know,
Mm-hmm,
go and have poker night.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
We don't we don't have men that really do that anymore. We have more men in competition with each other than anything.
Mm. Yes.
That part.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we
yes.
have more men trying to compete. Who got the best looking car? Who got the best looking the bigger house? Who got this? Who got
Right.
that? Instead of just
Mm-hmm,
saying, "Oh, hey, you doing all right, brother? Are
Right.
you
mm-hmm.
doing good? Hey, you got a smile on your face. Hey, come on out and drink with us tonight." You know what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, that's the gathering. The
The
gathering,
gathering.
taking care of your neighbor.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think people we this is replacing a lot of that. This social interaction. Us
Mm-hmm.
being us being online, us using social media where we can kind of hide behind a name, and sometimes it's not even our name for some people. So they that is replacing a lot of what you just described, Keith, where men would have like a long standing like a poker night game. I don't know
Right.
how much that is being used. And also I think with people disconnecting or deconstructing from the religion piece, that too is taken away from some of the interaction that or the men's. I think when I was growing up, that it used to be like a men's day or a men's whatever, where they would, every Tuesday night, the men of the church would get together and do whatever. Now, I'm not advocating for that, but I am advocating saying that if you have not, if you're out there, you're a guy, if you don't have some type of gathering or group, please find one.
Yeah.
And it sounds like my brother Keith, he might even be starting something. He might be starting something online where, men can come and share. Keith's like, go on with that now.
No,
Where they
my gatherings are live. On Friday and Saturday night, I go across the street. A couple of guys come over there, and we drink and we chop it up, talk about the
Yeah,
Okay.
basketball game, and
yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's
Hmm.
that's a
That's in
gathering of
person.
men.
Yes,
Yeah, in
Yes.
person type
yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
I'm not saying things can't happen online like that, but I'm
Right.
not going to be online, with any and everybody, people that I can look in the face and call you out.
Yes.
I might need to call you out. Somebody else might need to call you out. Or somebody
Mm-hmm.
might need to
Hmm.
call me out. I
Right.
want
Yeah.
to be able to look you in the face,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and go
Have
through
that
those
conversation.
changes. Yeah, I want to have those in person changes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
feel you. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What else you
Mm.
have,
Yeah.
Jennifer?
Come on, give me something.
I mean, we talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
I think pretty
yes.
much the questions I had, we pretty much talked about everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. What
go
about one
ahead.
last one? What happens when someone finally tries to love you, but you don't know how to receive it anymore because of that
Because you
resentment and that hyper? Yeah.
because you've become so hardened, yeah. What normally happens is unless that person becomes aware of what's going on,
Hmm.
they just shut down. They don't even realize that that is taking place because they're unaware of what's going on with their body. It's or not just their body, their whole being.
Yeah.
It's like people who are constantly in the state of how you said you were so angry you would start to shake, or you find yourself just crying out of nowhere. Some people have not reached that place where they're aware enough to know that something is not right, that they have
Yeah.
shut themselves off, that they can't even feel, but it's coming out in different ways.
Hmm.
So I think you have to get to a place where you are aware enough to say, something's not right. Let me look at what I'm doing. Let me figure out what's going on with my body so that I can make some changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a cycle that I want to bring attention to. The cycle is, especially if you find yourself, ladies, you're hyper independent. The cycle is usually you've gone through some type of disappointment.
Yeah. Uh oh. Did she freeze? Oh, she was probably gonna get some good stuff. What happened?
Mhm.
Isolated
Oh no.
because just by
Wait,
yourself.
you
So
gotta go back,
you
Tony, because you froze up. We didn't hear you.
okay. I said I said that you start with that disappointment. Somebody
Right.
didn't come through. He didn't do what he was supposed to do, or something like that. So you go from disappointment to self-reliance. And from that self-reliance, you start to isolate. Why? Because you can do it. I can do it all by my damn self. So you doing it all by yourself. And then that we're not built to do everything by ourselves. We're built for community. I'm a strong believer in that.
Yes.
So from that part, from that isolation, you go to burnout. You find yourself, you're burnt out. The number of women that I talk to who are going through burnout simply because they're trying to do everything and they don't realize that they cannot. And then from the burnout, you go to looking for more proof. What happened? It's like the universe sends more proof that no one will be able to do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you start that cycle all over again. The,
Mm.
what has to happen is you have to begin to accept small things, accept small, Like, no, they're not going to do it the way you would do it, but they're trying to do something.
Right, right.
That yes.
See the effort.
So yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Accept small gifts, accept small acts of kindness, and just see it as that. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you are so in that hyper independent mode, usually what happens is you're in a cycle. You doing
Yeah.
it over and over again until you break. And that's why we see so many women who go through a breakdown because they're in this cycle of trying to do it all by themselves and saying, well, I don't need no damn body.
Mm-hmm.
So you isolate, and then it goes on and on and on
Yeah.
until you become aware enough to say, nope, I got to look at why I'm doing this, what's going on, how is this affecting my body? And
Yes.
that's when the change happens.
Mm-hmm. That's a hell of a
Yep.
cycle.
That is a hell of a cycle that many people are find themselves in, and they're wondering why they are aging so much. You're aging so much because you're carrying too much, and we're
Yes.
not meant to carry that.
Right.
Yeah. I believe in community. I believe that we are here not to be by ourselves, to socially isolate. And that's another reason why, I like social media, but I think sometimes it keeps certain people just socially isolated. They can just
Yes.
watch other people live
Exactly.
out their lives and not really engage. And
Yeah.
it can become very unhealthy.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Sometimes you gotta step outside,
Right.
be with some real people, like
Yes.
Keith said,
Yes. In person.
in person. In person.
Yep. As far as
Yeah.
a lot of that is concerned, I think there's a lot of unforgiveness, like as far as men and women is concerned, when you get into
Yeah.
talking about a person. Uh, I just got distracted. My bad.
Okay.
Uh oh.
Oh shoot, my train of thought gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shoot.
You were just talking about
You
you
were
think a
saying
lot of it is unforgiveness.
unforgiveness.
Yeah, unforgiveness as far as men and women is concerned, and oh shoot, I was going somewhere.
Oh
Hmm.
man, it was probably good too.
Yes. Yes. It
What was
happens.
what was the question again? Let's go back to the
No,
question because I'm trying to remember everything that was said.
you said that it stems as far as the the burnout and all of that what I was mentioning. You said it stems from some of it stems from unforgiveness.
Yeah, a lot of it stems from unforgiveness. Is like you were saying, as far as women becoming
Hmm.
so independent, they don't want to depend on
Right.
nobody. They don't want to trust. They don't want to trust.
Hmm.
They don't want to allow a man to come in and lift heavy objects or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
They'll just hire somebody to come do it instead of letting the guy that they find an interest in, but they keep denying themselves of. Let me just
Hmm.
call um, two men in a truck to come do
Right.
this.
Hmm.
Instead of saying,
Hmm.
okay, this, anyway, but but it's still
Hmm.
and it goes the same way as far as men is concerned too, because when they've been let down or um, hurt, whatever the case may be, it comes to not needing anybody to come around. Don't want nobody to come around. And it's
Yeah.
Right.
not.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not. And if they do meet somebody, I'm not looking for marriage. I ain't looking for nothing. I got everything. I'm good. Don't worry about me.
I'm
Hmm.
good. Yes.
And
Yeah.
and a lot of that's when a lot of men learn how to cook. Too. So
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
I just said
Hmm.
that to be funny. So, but but anyway, yeah. I mean, it's just. Uh, we come back to forgiveness, and
Yeah.
and sometimes we put too much on a person to begin with. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we think that a person has let us down, but really and truly, you let yourself down by
We
Yeah.
let ourselves
trusting a
down.
person, trusting a person so much, and they might have even gave you the uh,
Fine.
everything you need to know that okay, this person is not going that far.
Right.
This
Right.
person is not gonna
Right.
go, you know, this far. You know, if you try to push them, yeah, you can push them away,
Mm.
and they won't come back. And
Yeah.
now you might feel betrayed. Now you might feel
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
they're not what you was looking for to begin with, and so
Mm.
when you come back to trying to try to find your way to forgive a person first,
Yeah.
and then forgive yourself. First of all,
Yes.
That's
that's a
Mm.
lot
key.
of it.
Yes.
That's a lot of
Yes.
that's a
Mm-hmm. We
lot of
talked
what
about
people
that
deal
last
with.
week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what people deal with. They don't forgive themselves. I had to forgive
Mm-hmm.
myself for some things 20 years ago, and I
Right.
still
Mm.
find still find myself looking back and saying, "Wow,
Yeah.
yeah, forgive
Yeah.
yourself. Just
Yeah.
forgive
Mm.
yourself. Forgive yourself
That's
for the
right.
Yeah.
things you've done. You know, you might have done something to somebody else, and somebody might have done something to you. Either way,
Mm-hmm.
forgive yourself, forgive them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That forgiveness is important.
it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing that. That is so true.
Yes.
Unforgiveness. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jennifer, if
Yeah.
you don't have anything else,
Yeah. I think we pretty much hit everything. Yeah.
yeah, we covered all our topics. Those of you who've been
Mm-hmm.
watching us, we are here every Thursday and we will be back to conclude this series
Yep.
next Thursday. Is that right, Jennifer?
Yep. We'll be back
It'll
next
be the
Thursday.
conclude. Yeah,
Yep.
we will, and we'll be wrapping this series up about women who carry
Carry
everything.
everything.